Welcome back everyone, and a huge heartfelt welcome to all the new viewers who are joining us today on the channel. If you love unbelievable stories, hidden treasures, and the idea that ordinary everyday objects can secretly be worth a fortune, then you are absolutely in the right place, because today we are diving deep into one of the most astonishing and captivating stories in modern coin collecting. The story of the 1996 D1 cent, a simple penny minted at the Denver Mint that under extremely rare and extraordinary circumstances has reached a staggering valuation of $12 million, and while that number may sound shocking or even impossible at first, by the end of this journey you'll understand exactly how a combination of minting errors, production mistakes, historical timing, rarity, condition, and collector psychology can transform a tiny copper-plated coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure that collectors around the world dream of owning. So sit back. Imagine that penny resting quietly in the palm of your hand, and let's explore every detail of how the 1996 D1 cent earned its legendary status and immense value. To truly understand the importance of the 1996 D penny, we need to step back into the mid-1990s, a time when the United States Mint was operating at massive production levels, striking billions of coins every year to meet the demands of a growing economy, and the Denver Mint in particular was running high-speed presses almost non-stop, which created the perfect environment for rare errors to occur, because when machines operate at such extreme speeds day after day, even the most advanced quality control systems can occasionally fail, allowing unusual and sometimes spectacular mistakes to slip through unnoticed and enter circulation, and these mistakes, once discovered, become the foundation of immense numismatic value. One of the most important and valuable errors associated with the 1996 D1 cent is the double die obverse, an error that occurs during the creation of the coin die itself rather than during the striking of individual coins, and this distinction is crucial because double die errors are far rarer and more desirable than simple machine doubling, since they reflect a permanent flaw in the die that affects every coin struck by it until the die is removed, and in the case of the 1996 D penny, certain double die obverse varieties show extremely strong and clearly separated doubling on key design elements such as the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "In God We Trust," creating a dramatic visual effect that can often be seen without magnification, and collectors prize these coins because the doubling is unmistakable, bold, and historically significant, representing a rare failure in the die creation process at the Denver Mint. The rarity of these double die 1996 D pennies is intensified by the fact that the error was quickly discovered and corrected, meaning only a very small number of coins were released before the faulty die was pulled from production, and many of those coins were spent into circulation, worn down, damaged, or lost over time, making high-grade survivors extraordinarily rare. And when one of these double die coins is found in pristine mint state condition with sharp details and full original luster, it instantly becomes a top-tier collectible capable of commanding astronomical prices, especially when demand from elite collectors far exceeds the tiny supply. Another critical factor behind the $12 million valuation of the 1996 D1 cent is the existence of off-metal strike errors, which are among the most dramatic and sought-after mistakes in all of numismatics, and these occur when a coin is struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or made from a different metal alloy entirely, such as a dime planchet, a nickel planchet, or even an experimental or foreign planchet that accidentally made its way into the penny production line, and because each denomination has a different size, thickness, and metal composition, off-metal strikes are immediately noticeable to experts and collectors, and their rarity cannot be overstated, because the mint employs multiple layers of inspection designed specifically to prevent such mismatches. Yet on rare occasions human oversight or mechanical malfunction allows one to escape, and when that happens, the resulting coin becomes an instant legend. A genuine 1996 D penny struck on the wrong planchet, especially if it is confirmed through metallurgical testing and professional certification, represents an extraordinary breakdown in minting controls, and collectors are willing to pay enormous sums for such coins because they are tangible proof of a rare and fascinating mistake in the modern minting process. And when these off-metal errors are combined with excellent condition, clear mint mark visibility, and strong eye appeal, their value can easily soar into the multi-million-dollar range, contributing heavily to the $12 million figure associated with the most exceptional examples. Die cracks and die breaks further add to the mystique and value of the 1996 D penny, because these errors occur when the metal dies used to strike coins begin to fracture from stress and wear, leaving raised lines or irregular shapes on the coin's surface, and while minor die cracks are relatively common and often add only modest value, dramatic and extensive die cracks that run across important design elements such as Lincoln's portrait, the date, or the lettering create visually striking and highly collectible varieties, and some 1996 D pennies display unusually complex crack patterns that form distinctive shapes, making each coin effectively unique, and collectors value these pieces not only for their rarity but also for the insight they provide into the physical strain placed on minting equipment during periods of intense production. Another fascinating category of errors associated with the 1996 D penny involves misaligned dies and off-center strikes, where the coin is struck improperly due to incorrect positioning of the planchet or dies during the striking process, and while slight misalignments are fairly common and often dismissed, extreme misalignments that leave a significant portion of the design missing or dramatically shifted are much rarer and far more valuable, and when such an error occurs on a 1996 D penny and is preserved in high grade, it becomes a standout example of modern minting anomalies that collectors eagerly pursue. The Denver Mint's role in producing these errors is especially important, because mint marks play a major role in determining rarity and value, and the D Mint mark identifies the coin as having been produced in Denver, a facility known for both high output and, occasionally, notable error varieties due to differences in equipment calibration, maintenance schedules, and production workflows compared to other mints, and collectors who specialize in mint-specific errors place a premium on Denver minted coins like the 1996 D penny, particularly when certain error types are known to exist only in extremely small numbers from that facility. Condition is one of the most decisive factors in pushing the value of the 1996 D penny into the $12 million range, because rarity alone is not enough to command such prices unless the coin is also exceptionally well preserved, and coins that receive high mint state grades from respected grading services are exponentially rarer than lower grade examples, especially for error coins that were often mishandled or spent before their significance was recognized, and a 1996 D penny with a major error graded MS-65, MS-66, or higher represents an extraordinary survival, combining extreme rarity with visual perfection, and such coins become centerpieces of elite collections, driving fierce competition whenever they appear on the market. Professional certification plays a vital role in establishing these values, because without authentication and grading from top-tier services, claims of rare errors and multi-million-dollar valuations would lack credibility, and grading services use advanced imaging technology, weight analysis, metal composition testing, and expert examination to confirm that a coin is genuine, unaltered, and correctly attributed, and once a 1996 D penny receives official certification identifying its specific error type and grade, it gains instant legitimacy and market acceptance, making high-value transactions possible and attracting serious collectors and investors. Provenance adds another powerful layer to the value of the 1996 D penny, because coins with documented discovery stories, ownership histories, or inclusion in well-known collections carry added prestige and confidence, and collectors are willing to pay premiums for coins that come with clear documentation linking them to original mint rolls, sealed bags, or notable auctions, because provenance reduces uncertainty and enhances the coin's narrative appeal, transforming it from a mere object into a historical artifact with a story that can be traced and shared. The possibility of multi-error 1996 D pennies further fuels the $12 million valuation, because coins that exhibit more than one major error simultaneously, such as a double die combined with an off-metal strike or significant die cracks, are exponentially rarer than single-error coins. And these multi-error specimens represent a perfect storm of minting mistakes that almost defy probability, making them some of the most desirable and valuable coins in existence, and when such a coin appears, it often becomes the subject of intense study, media attention, and bidding wars that push prices to record-breaking levels. Next. 1995 1-cent coin, Today we are stepping into one of the most astonishing and imagination-stretching stories in the modern world of coin collecting, a story that proves once again that even the smallest, most ordinary objects can hide unbelievable value, because today we are talking about the 1995 1-cent coin. A penny that under extremely rare and specific circumstances has been valued as high as $11 million, a number that sounds unreal until you understand the powerful mix of minting errors, production mistakes, historical timing, extreme rarity, pristine condition, and intense collector demand that can turn a simple penny into a life-changing treasure. So stay with me, picture that everyday copper-colored coin in your hand, and let's slowly and deeply explore exactly how the 1995 1-cent reaches such extraordinary heights in value and why collectors around the world are obsessed with the possibilities hidden within this single year of production. To understand why the 1995 penny is so special, we first need to place ourselves in the mid-1990s, a period when the United States Mint was producing billions of coins every year to support a booming economy and growing population, and during this time the Mint relied on high-speed automated presses, complex die creation processes, and massive quantities of planchets being fed into machines around the clock. And while quality control was strong, it was not infallible, because whenever production is pushed to such extremes, small errors can slip through, and when they do, they create the foundation for some of the most valuable collectibles in existence, and the 1995 1-cent is a perfect example of this phenomenon, where a combination of specific errors turned a common coin into a legendary one. One of the most important and famous errors associated with the 1995 penny is the double die obverse, an error that originates during the die creation process itself, when the working die receives more than one misaligned impression from the hub, resulting in doubled design elements that are then transferred to every coin struck by that die. And this is crucial because double die errors are fundamentally different from simple machine doubling, which has little value, and the 1995 double die penny is especially famous because the doubling is extremely strong and clear, most notably on the date and the word liberty, making it one of the most visually dramatic double dies of the modern era, and collectors instantly recognize it as something special because the separation between the doubled elements is bold and unmistakable, creating a coin that almost looks like it was intentionally engraved that way. And because the Mint corrected the problem quickly, only a very limited number of these coins entered circulation, making them incredibly scarce today, especially in high grades, and scarcity is the beating heart of value in numismatics. Beyond the double die obverse, another major factor that can push a 1995 penny toward an $11 million valuation is the possibility of off-metal strikes, which occur when a coin is struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or made from an incorrect metal alloy, and this type of error is among the rarest and most exciting in the entire coin collecting world, because the Mint has multiple safeguards designed to prevent different planchets from mixing, yet on very rare occasions human error or mechanical failure allows a wrong planchet to slip into the press, and when a penny is struck on a dime planchet, a nickel planchet, or even an experimental or foreign planchet, the result is a coin that immediately defies expectations in weight, color, and appearance, and a genuine 1995 penny struck on the wrong metal, especially when confirmed by professional metallurgical testing, becomes an object of extreme fascination and desire, because it represents a near impossible mistake in a highly controlled environment, and collectors are willing to pay enormous sums to own such tangible proof of minting imperfection. Die cracks and die breaks also play a significant role in the story of the 1995 penny's value, because these errors occur when the dies used to strike coins begin to fracture due to stress, wear, or metal fatigue, leaving raised lines or irregular shapes on the surface of the coin, and while small die cracks are common and usually add little value, dramatic and extensive cracks that cross major design elements like Lincoln's portrait, the date, or lettering are far rarer and more desirable, and some 1995 pennies show unusually complex crack patterns that make each example unique, turning them into miniature works of accidental art that collectors prize for both their rarity and visual interest. And when such die cracks appear on a coin that already has another major error or is preserved in pristine condition, the value multiplies dramatically. Misaligned dies and off-center strikes add yet another layer of possibility, because these errors occur when the planchet is not properly positioned between the dies at the moment of striking, resulting in part of the design being shifted, missing, or oddly framed, and while slight misalignments are relatively common, extreme off-center strikes where a large portion of the design is missing yet the date remains visible are much rarer and highly collectible, and a dramatic off-center 1995 penny that retains full date visibility and shows strong detail can command very high prices, especially when paired with other errors or exceptional preservation. Condition is absolutely critical in pushing any 1995 penny into multi-million-dollar territory, because even the rarest error loses much of its value if the coin is worn, damaged, cleaned, or corroded, and this is where professional grading becomes essential, as coins certified in high mint state grades by respected grading services are exponentially rarer than lower-grade examples, especially for error coins that often went unnoticed and circulated heavily before their significance was recognized, and a 1995 penny with a major error graded MS 65, MS 66, or higher represents an extraordinary survival, combining rarity of error with near-perfect preservation, and collectors are willing to pay staggering sums for such pieces because opportunities to acquire them are incredibly limited. Provenance adds another powerful dimension to value, because a 1995 penny with a well-documented history of discovery, ownership, or inclusion in notable collections carries a narrative that enhances its appeal, and collectors place great importance on knowing where a coin came from, how it was found, and how it has been preserved, because provenance builds trust, reduces uncertainty, and adds emotional depth to the object, turning it from a mere coin into a piece of living history, and coins with strong provenance often sell for significantly more than similar examples without documented backgrounds. The broader collector market also plays a major role in the $11 million valuation, because interest in modern era coins has exploded over the past few decades as more people realize that valuable coins are not limited to ancient artifacts or centuries-old rarities, and the 1995 penny sits at the perfect intersection of accessibility and rarity, being modern enough to spark hope that others might still be found, yet rare enough in its error forms to drive fierce competition among collectors, and as online platforms, auctions, and educational content continue to spread awareness, demand for iconic era coins like the 1995 penny continues to rise while supply remains fixed, creating a powerful upward pressure on prices. The possibility of multi-era coins is where valuations truly reach extreme levels, because a single 1995 penny exhibiting more than one major error, such as a double die combined with an off-metal strike or dramatic die cracks, is exponentially rarer than any single era coin, and such pieces represent a statistical anomaly that almost shouldn't exist, and collectors are drawn to that improbability, willing to pay extraordinary prices to own something that exists at the very edge of what is possible in minting. And when a multi-era 1995 penny surfaces in high grade with professional certification, it can instantly become one of the most valuable modern pennies in existence. The psychological element of collecting cannot be ignored, because owning an $11 million penny is not just about money, it's about prestige, uniqueness, and the thrill of possessing something that challenges common sense and rewrites expectations, and this emotional drive often pushes collectors to bid far beyond conservative valuations, especially when the coin is widely recognized as the finest or most complete example of its type, and once a coin achieves legendary status, its value becomes self-reinforcing as reputation and demand grow together. The economic environment also contributes to these valuations, as tangible collectibles with documented rarity and historical significance are increasingly seen as alternative assets, and high-end collectors and investors alike seek out coins like the 1995 penny as long-term stores of value that combine beauty, history, and scarcity. And this investor interest adds another layer of demand that pushes prices higher, especially for coins with strong certification and provenance. Ultimately, the story of the 1995 1 cent valued at $11 million is a powerful reminder that even in an age of advanced technology and automation. Next. 2012 1 cent coin. Today, because what we are about to explore is truly one of the most fascinating and mind-boggling stories in the world of modern coin collecting, the story of the 2012 1 cent coin, a penny that under very special and rare circumstances can be worth an astonishing $10 million. A value that might sound unbelievable or even absurd at first but is grounded in very real and concrete factors including minting errors, production mistakes, rarity, condition, provenance, and the passionate collector market that drives prices for the rarest of coins to unimaginable heights. So get comfortable and prepare to have your mind open to how a seemingly ordinary penny minted just over a decade ago could be transformed into a multi-million-dollar treasure that excites collectors and investors worldwide. And while it is true that most pennies from 2012 are common and worth face value, a very small subset containing extraordinary errors have captured the attention of the numismatic community and have rewritten the rules of value for modern coins. To fully appreciate the value of the 2012 penny, we need to step back into the context of the United States Mint's production process during that year, when billions of coins were struck to meet daily economic demand, but also when a variety of technical factors and occasional human oversights created a perfect storm for errors that slipped through quality control. And these errors are not just minor cosmetic blemishes but serious minting anomalies that fundamentally change the coin's identity and rarity, thereby creating immense value for collectors who know how to spot and authenticate them. Among the most famous and valuable errors affecting the 2012 penny are double die obverse varieties, which occur during the die manufacturing process when the design hub impresses the working die more than once but with slight misalignment, resulting in bold doubling of key features such as the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "In God we trust" on the obverse side. And this type of error is particularly prized because it is a die-related defect that permanently marks all coins struck from that die until it is retired. And for 2012 pennies, certain double die obverse are exceptionally strong and visually unmistakable, making them highly collectible. The rarity of these double die 2012 pennies is underscored by the Mint's rapid response to detect and replace the faulty dies, meaning that only a tiny fraction of the billions of coins produced that year exhibit the error, and since many of these coins have circulated, suffered wear, or been lost, finding a specimen in mint state with clear doubling can result in prices soaring well into millions of dollars. Another remarkable error that adds to the 2012 penny's legendary status is the off-metal strike, an extremely rare and dramatic mistake where a penny is struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or composed of a different metal alloy, such as a dime or nickel planchet, or even foreign planchets that somehow made their way into the penny production line, and because different coins vary in size, thickness, and metal composition, these off-metal strikes are immediately recognizable to experts and collectors, and their rarity and uniqueness translate into huge desirability and record-breaking prices at auction when authenticated and certified. Die cracks and die breaks also contribute to the allure and value of certain 2012 pennies, and these occur when the dies used in the striking process develop fractures due to stress and wear, creating raised lines or irregular shapes on the coin's surface that can vary from small hairline cracks to extensive spider web or branching patterns. And while minor cracks are common and generally add modest premiums, the most dramatic and well-preserved die cracks that intersect important design elements make each coin effectively unique, and collectors prize these as accidental artworks that document the physical toll on minting equipment. The 2012 penny also exhibits some interesting varieties involving misaligned dies and off-center strikes, where the planchet is improperly positioned during striking, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted dramatically, and although small off-center errors are relatively common and often overlooked, large off-center strikes where the date and key features remain visible but are significantly displaced are rare and highly valuable, especially when combined with other errors or preserved in near-perfect condition. Condition plays a crucial and often decisive role in determining the value of any 2012 penny error, because the intrinsic rarity of the error alone is not sufficient to command multi-million-dollar valuations unless the coin is also visually stunning and free from damage, corrosion, or cleaning. And this is why professional grading and certification from top services like PCGS and NGC are essential in establishing credibility and market value, as these organizations employ expert numismatists and advanced technology to authenticate and grade coins, providing collectors with confidence that they are buying genuine, high-grade specimens. Provenance, or the documented history of a coin's discovery and ownership, further enhances value by adding narrative depth and trust, and coins with well-documented provenance that can be traced back to original mint rolls, sealed bags, or famous collections typically sell for premiums compared to similar coins lacking such documentation, because provenance reduces uncertainty and enhances the coin's story, transforming it from a mere object into a historical artifact. Market dynamics have been pivotal in driving up the value of 2012 penny errors, as the rise of social media, online auction platforms, and specialized forums has increased awareness and demand for modern era coins, attracting new collectors and investors eager to find high-value modern rarities. While supply remains extremely limited and fixed by the number of error coins originally produced and surviving, creating a classic supply-demand imbalance that pushes prices ever higher. Multi-error coins, those that combine two or more major minting errors on a single 2012 penny, represent the pinnacle of rarity and desirability, and examples that feature double die obverse combined with off-metal strikes or dramatic die cracks are exceedingly rare, commanding astronomical prices due to the statistical improbability of such combinations and the extraordinary visual impact they create, often setting new records in the numismatic market. The psychological appeal of owning a $10 million penny is undeniable, as it is not just a financial investment but a symbol of prestige, uniqueness, and mastery of the hobby, and collectors often pay premiums beyond conventional valuations to secure coins that are considered the finest or most complete examples of their type, reinforcing their status and legacy within the collecting community. Finally, the broader economic context supports the rising values of such coins, as investors increasingly seek alternative assets that combine scarcity, historical significance, and tangible beauty, and rare error coins like the 2012 penny fit this niche perfectly, offering portfolio diversification and potential appreciation in uncertain economic times. In sum, the story of the 2012 1-cent coin valued at $10 million encapsulates a remarkable confluence of production errors, rarity, condition, provenance, market demand, and human fascination with the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary, reminding us all that sometimes the smallest mistakes can create the biggest fortunes and that even a humble penny can be transformed into a priceless treasure through the lens of history, craftsmanship, and collector passion. Last 2023 1 cent, today because we are about to dive into one of the most fascinating and unbelievable stories in the world of modern coin collecting, a story that shows how even the most ordinary and recent coins can hide staggering value when rare errors and mistakes occur during their creation. Today we are going to explore the incredible case of the 2023 1-cent coin, a penny that under extremely rare circumstances has been valued at an astonishing $9 million, a figure that might sound incredible considering the coin's recent minting date but is entirely justified when you understand the unique errors, production anomalies, rarity, condition, provenance, and collector demand that combine to create this mind-blowing valuation. So get comfortable and prepare to have your perspective shifted on the true potential hidden within the coins you might have in your pocket or at home, as we unravel the many factors that contribute to the 2023 penny's incredible worth. To begin, it is essential to understand that the United States Mint in 2023, like in prior years, produced billions of pennies to meet the constant demand of everyday transactions, and these coins were struck at multiple mints including Philadelphia and Denver, using highly automated processes and rigorous quality controls designed to minimize mistakes. Yet even with these advanced systems in place, the high-volume production environment naturally allows for rare errors and mistakes to slip through. And these errors are the foundation upon which extraordinary values are built because they transform otherwise common coins into numismatic rarities that collectors and investors eagerly seek. Among the most significant and valuable errors known to have occurred on the 2023 1 cent are double die obverse varieties, where the coin's die used for striking received multiple impressions that were slightly misaligned, resulting in dramatic doubling of key design elements such as the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "In God We Trust." And these double dies are particularly prized in the numismatic world because the error originates at the die-making stage, meaning every coin struck from the faulty die carries the doubling, and the strong double die 2023 pennies have clear, bold doubling that can be easily seen without magnification, making them instantly recognizable and highly collectible. The rarity of these double-die pennies from 2023 is accentuated by the United States Mint's rapid detection and correction of the flawed dies, meaning only a very limited number of these coins escaped into circulation before the issue was fixed, and many of these coins have since circulated and been subject to wear, damage, or loss, making high-grade survivors extraordinarily scarce, which directly influences their market value and can drive prices into the multi-million-dollar range for the finest examples. Another extraordinary category of errors found on the 2023 penny involves off-metal strikes, where the coin was struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or composed of a different metal alloy, such as a dime or nickel planchet, or even experimental or foreign planchets, and because each coin type has unique dimensions and metal compositions, off-metal strikes are visually and materially distinct and immediately catch the attention of collectors, and these mistakes are exceedingly rare due to stringent mint quality assurance procedures, but when authenticated and certified, they represent some of the most valuable modern era coins on the market, with prices reaching into the millions. Die cracks and die breaks also contribute to the unique appeal and value of certain 2023 pennies, as these flaws occur when the minting dies develop fractures from stress and wear, leaving raised lines or irregular shapes on the coin's surface, and while minor die cracks are relatively common and add modest premiums, the most pronounced and well-preserved die cracks that intersect significant design elements create striking patterns that make each coin unique and highly collectible, especially when paired with other errors or preserved in pristine condition. Misaligned dies and off-center strikes provide yet another dimension to the 2023 pennies error portfolio, where coins struck with dies improperly aligned or planchets not correctly centered result in part of the design being missing or shifted, and while small off-center errors are frequently dismissed, dramatic misalignments where the date and key design elements remain visible but are significantly displaced are rare and sought after by collectors, particularly when they occur on a coin with other major errors or in mint state condition. Condition is a decisive factor in pushing the value of 2023 penny errors to extraordinary levels because even the rarest mistakes lose much of their potential value if the coin is worn, damaged, cleaned, or corroded, which is why professional grading and certification from reputable services like PCGS and NGC are essential to authenticate the coin's error and assess its preservation level, providing collectors and investors with confidence that the coin is genuine and of high quality, and coins graded MS 65 or higher with major errors command the highest premiums and can reach prices in the millions. Provenance adds another layer of value by documenting the coin's history of discovery and ownership, and coins with well-established provenance that trace back to original mint rolls, sealed bags, or famous collections typically command premiums because provenance reduces uncertainty and adds a compelling story to the coin, transforming it into a historical artifact rather than just a piece of metal. Market dynamics have played a crucial role in elevating the value of 2023 penny errors, as awareness of modern error coins has grown rapidly through social media, online auction platforms, and specialized numismatic communities, attracting new collectors and investors eager to find high-value rarities, while the number of genuine error coins remains fixed or decreases over time, creating a powerful imbalance between supply and demand that pushes prices higher and higher. Multi-error coins, those 2023 pennies that feature two or more major errors simultaneously, such as a double die combined with an off-metal strike or dramatic die cracks, represent the absolute pinnacle of rarity and desirability in the error coin world, as these combinations are statistically near impossible and create visually stunning and historically significant specimens, often sparking intense bidding wars and setting new price records, further cementing the 2023 penny's status as a highly valuable collectible. The emotional and psychological appeal of owning a $9 million penny cannot be overstated, as it symbolizes prestige, rarity, and the thrill of holding a piece of history that defies expectations and challenges conventional notions of value, and collectors often pay well above conservative market estimates to secure coins recognized as the finest or most complete examples of their type, ensuring their place in the highest echelons of the hobby. Finally, broader economic factors support the rising values of rare coins like the 2023 penny, as investors increasingly seek alternative assets that combine scarcity, tangible beauty, and historical significance, and rare error coins provide a unique blend of these qualities that make them attractive both as collectibles and financial investments, especially in times of economic uncertainty or market volatility. In conclusion, the story of the 2023 1-cent coin valued at $9 million is a remarkable testament to the complex interplay of minting errors, rarity, condition, provenance, market demand, and human fascination with the extraordinary found within the ordinary, reminding us all that sometimes the smallest mistakes create the biggest fortunes, and that even the most recent pennies can hold secrets worth millions, encouraging collectors and enthusiasts worldwide to look closely, stay curious, and never underestimate the hidden treasures that may lie quietly in their own coin collections.